Hello friends, welcome to YouTube Explore channel. So let's start with the topic one, where we have to understand the goal of what are the things online consumers do online and how you can identify them. Because these days, consumer is very much educated and knowledgeable as well. And another thing is a way to because they know what are the platforms through which they can research about the company product and services and about their websites and then visiting over there through their websites and social medias in order to know about the information of the product and services including the likes and dislikes given by the early consumers as well after the post purchase and how the information reflecting over there in actual after the use of the product even if somebody procure it or not. Also, this will help in making the brand awareness of the product as well because if somebody visited over there they might have a trust that this is something some the consumer is being looking for and they have interest and they start feeling about the brand because that is the brand which is providing the value, the benefits, the advantages over the competitors brand product and services. And the third point over here in opportunity is things change very quickly because consumer can change their decision in a very less time depending on the other competitor information as well. So have to be very precise about the consumer activities doing online and you must reflect the opinions of, over your competitors so you can make them retain and acquire the new consumer as well. So friends, here we have to make this strategy as well in order to proceed and taking benefit of the opportunity as well. And here we have to understand the online channels like we discussed before in the earlier lessons. What are the online channels which are available and what are the platforms as well. Here the main purpose is to gather information of consumer behavior and but you have to must understand the consumer behavior as well. Consumer behavior is the process of decision making where consumer is making decision for buying particular product and services but they have been indulging themselves in four kind of behavior. The first one is I'll let you know because we have to understand it first only then you can proceed further. Reason being these are the terms which will come further in upcoming lessons too. The complex buying behavior is the first point because here in this point the consumer involve themselves highly in the purchase procurement of the product. For instance, if somebody have to buy a house or a car and they have to pay a high price, then they have to indulge themselves highly in it and have to make a decision, and it is a very kind of complex behavior. And the another one, second one is dissonance reducing buying behavior. Here, consumer involve themselves in the process of buying, and they have been some kind of difficulties between the brands as well to make a procurement. What the main thing is, they just have some kind of worry even if they make a purchase do they have to regret afterwards or not. So that's a kind of dissonance reducing buying behavior which will be also beneficial for them as well because it's a convenient for them to understand the price, the price and the quality of the product to make a purchase. And the third one is habitual buying behavior. Here the consumer involve themselves in a very less state because they don't have to involve themselves highly. They know what they have to buy and they just took a less time to make a buy. For instance, if you have to recharge your phone with internet of 2 GB or 3 GB, you know this is the plan and this is the company from where you have to buy the product services and you just make a payment instantly and buy the services. And the fourth one is variety seeking behavior. Here the consumer indulges themselves in a variety of brands just to seek a variety and nothing about the dissatisfaction with the previous brand. It's only about the kind of variety the consumer is seeking for the product and services. So friend, this is about consumer behavior, and depending on this, they have their interest, and that's how they engage themselves in different kind of activities. And therefore, it would be helpful to have a scheduled time and place of engagement. These all things will helpful in shaping up this strategy and then implementing it in a step-by-step phase. Further, market research helps in business decisions also. Further, we just discussed about the consumer information to be gathered in different way, but we will be also able to gather the information of the competitor because the consumer have to buy the same or high quality product from the competitor as well. So it would be very helpful for us to get the information of the competitor too at the same time, and using these invaluable insights makes your data driven for marketing strategies. You can easily make a marketing strategy that these are the areas we have to make advancement, and these are the areas we have to make improvement, and then accordingly your campaign would be very helpful if it is set, and you may have also make your contingency plan as well. Now, the second topic over here is various insights. The four things we have to understand about customer insights, other insights, trends, and tactics. Customer insights, where we have to understand the want, need, and demand of the customer from the brand. Friends, need means, I just give you an example. Everybody has a need of basic requirements like house and food. So that means need. And what means that everybody has to take a shower on daily basis or depending on the requirement. And that is called a want. But they do wanted to have a quality soap to take a shower. So that's the main perspective here now. Different little difference between need and want. The soap. They have a want of soap. And now the third one is demand. Once they have make their need want, they are willing to and have the ability to make a procurement by bearing the expenses of the want. So that is called demand, where you have to pay and are willing to pay as well. The second point here is what customers likes and dislikes. As we discussed before, customers are quite aware and very much educated as well because they know how to reach the platform through digital media, and in order to know more information through likes and dislikes, either it's a video on a YouTube, either it's the information on their websites or through any other third party source. Why customer buy the brand product or services? Simply because they have upper hand regarding the value being offered by the company and the advantages, benefits as well. But why they choose always the single brand than the other one? So the answer is same: the value, the benefits, and the advantages being provided by the company against the competitors. So friends, the fourth point is why or why not they make a repeat purchase. If you like some kind of brand like Nike, Adidas, or sporting cars, or luxury things, or ordinary things, whatever you may like, you do make a repeat purchase for that particular product too, because you have a trust and loyalty for that product and that brand. So that's the main thing here. The term being used over here is brand equity. Brand equity defines the brand loyalty for the product by the consumer, and depending on that is the significant point here which makes a difference of repeat purchases. The second point we have to cover about the other insights. Here the we have to understand the different kind of changes comes in the industry and business and how they affects the customer behavior and interest, whereas what are the new things which makes the changes. So let me show you an example here. Here there are two things we have to understand about: internal changes and external changes, which may cause a change. For internal, it is a part of the brand company inside restructuring, delayering, management, expansion, retrenchment, whatsoever their salary or kind of inflation problems inside. So those things which will affecting the internal working are called internal causes, and the external changes can be social trends, on various social media platforms, economic conditions of the country, depending on the requirement of that product, and geolocation as well, and the law made by the government in considering the inflations and taking benefit from their policies. The fourth one is technological advances. Nowadays, what happens? Technology has been so much advanced. People have been using smartphone. People have been using so many highly technological devices. For instance, iPad, and another one is small micro cameras. You can put it in the pen as well to make a recording as well. So these are the other insights, and further we will be talking about trends. The third point in various insights: discover new market trends on which required to capitalize. A company has always to be vigilant in order to capitalize on the trends so they can know where they have to proceed further. So I'll just give you another example over here as well. What are the unique things considering the digital world about regarding digital marketing? You can easily understand this example as well. We have a population, for instance, here as per the depicting in the image, it's about 7 billion, and they have been mentioning that urbanization has been increased by 56%. So that's a kind of trend change, and people have to move their company from a rural area to urban area in order to make customer acquisition and customer retention. And here in the second one is penetration. Penetration means pushing. What happens? Company has been pushing their smartphone sales for that particular smartphone, and they have been increasing their sales, they have been increasing their advertisements in order to increase the sales. Only then they will be able to have a good outcome of profit. And the fourth one is internet use. Earlier there were only internet uses with government agencies, MNCs, but with the time and the advancement of the technology, people are quite indulging themselves in using internet as well. So everybody is having a phone today, and majority of people have been using internet in different perspective as well for their entertainment or purchase. So these are the examples of the kind of things we discussed over here just about the trends. And what are the common and unique trends going on currently? You have to identify online trends of audience frequently and consistently. What happens when an audience comes online? You have to understand, are they visiting it first time over there? Are they visiting frequently over there and making a purchase time and again? And if they are consistent with the brand, then it's a good point for the company as well in customer retention. And if they are inconsistent, it means your audience, your customer, they have been shifting towards the other competitor brand value and exchange. So you have to prepare with the trends as well. Why these things change suddenly at a rapid pace. The fourth one is tactics. Your strategy must have a tactic because some kind of situation just arise suddenly, and you must have a strategy in order to handle it. And therefore, prepare a strategy to engage new customers via email marketing, social media, and positive vibe. Email marketing is one of the significant strategical point in digital marketing where people, brand, companies hiring or having their own email marketing softwares to make a bulk of lakhs, millions emails in an instant of time. For instance, I just give you an example of the PVR cinemas. They have just sent this. What happens? They sent you an email of new movie launch, so they know the number, the email once you visit over there, theaters, cinemas, and they will be able to gather your information and send you information about the new movie being launched. And for social media, they have been using their social media accounts in order to inform you that this is a new movie being launched and this will be the offer on discounts. And this helps them to have a positive vibe, and they will be increasing their sales through sale of tickets. Always ready with value to be given to new customers. Like we discussed before, You have two type of customer. One is your older customer, existing one, and another one is customer acquisition, where you have to manage to bring up the new customer for your product and services sale. Now, the third point we will be discussing over here is marketing research process. Here we have to establish the goal, and we should know this is what research we will have to follow, and the path to follow is it a primary research or a secondary research? Reason being, we have to simplify the goal. We have to determine the target sample to whom we have been targeting. Either it's the school children, college children, university students, professors, teachers, defense personals, companies, the housewives, anyone. So you must understand about the target sample and you have to simplify it. And the second point is you must have a location where you have been targeting them for their research. And the demographics about their name, age, gender, emails, and so on. Because these are the few crucial information you must have during your research process, and so it would be helpful for you to enhance further and gather more information at the same time. This is what we call about the opportunity perspective, but you must understand the primary research and secondary research before proceeding, because in primary research you get the data for a particular product when no information exists or is not accessible. Here I show you an example of primary and secondary research. It would be much easier for you through image. Here a person has prepared a questionnaire and they have been distributing to people to whom he or she has to target, and then accordingly they can fill their initiative points or giving providing solution to them as well. So this is a primary research, but in secondary research already that is being available online or in books or in journals, magazines, and you have not to visit somewhere else, and you have been investing very less money as well and gathering a lot of information through earlier research being made by someone for the particular subject as well. So the strategy, like we just shown in the image, choose the right digital channel for your digital marketing, like we discussed in the lesson one as well. What are those channels, how you have to strategize accordingly, and then you must have an analytical channel as well where you can understand how many people have been visiting your website, your channel, or your social media channel. What are the path funnel through which they have been visiting to your channel, to your website, and if they have been inbounding from someone else, you have just put your link on someone websites and somebody click over there after visiting, and you will be able to know that this is the person follow this path route, and that's why they have been visiting to the website of the company brand. And for primary research, surveys, focus group, research panels, and research committees can all be used for collecting data. These we will cover further in surveys and thoroughly. And for secondary research, use Google published data like we discussed before just a moment ago. The published data being available online in journals, magazines, and so on. Friends, there is two type of data being collected. One is quantitative data and qualitative data. This can only be collected once you proceed with the right strategy, because in quantitative data you gather in number, figure, statistics, objective data in the form of question mark, that is what, when, where you have mentioned your question, people answering accordingly. Here the group size is large and data source is surveys, analytics data, like we mentioned here in the image as well, surveys, interviews, focus groups. This we will cover next in upcoming point as well. And it is statistically reliable because it is not manipulated. So people have mentioned depending on their interest, need, and opinion. And for qualitative data here, you gather people's opinions, feelings, motivations, subjective data. in the form of question mark, why and how, why this happens, why you like this brand, how you feel after the post purchase. This kind of data is quality data where company has to know about the consumer behavior, that are they feeling satisfied or dissonant. Here the group size is small because you don't have to gather the large data from many people. You just have to make a target to 10 depending on the sample target they have made. Here the better understanding is perspective. If some out of 10 people, 7 are saying yeah this product is going good and they have got benefit from this product. For instance, if somebody has buy the washing machine and it is an automatic machine, then people are quite happy because they don't have to put up so much energy by themselves. Like earlier, they had to wash their clothes with their hands. Now, the fourth point is what online research methodology should be used to desired outcomes. How we can get a anticipated outcome, like we discussed before. These surveys. Here, surveys plays an important role because these are the questions that contain a series of questions you have mentioned in the questionnaire, and accordingly, people will be giving their answers. This capture data immediately because you have already visited your target population and they have just filled it in the instant time depending on their interest. Although this can be done by using email as well, because what happens these days, Google Form is quite popular in making questionnaires and people have been sending them to their consumers already being existed and to the new one as well, and depending on reference as well. This include the geographical limitations because you don't have to visit somewhere, you just have to make an proper email with proper layout and the matter you have to mention and the benefits against it, and then easily you can send the emails to bulk people. But for that, like we just discussed, designing a survey question directly impact on success. It can include any number and type of questions. Here you have to thoroughly understand the idea what you have to design. What are the questions you have to mention in the questionnaires in order to engage people. So depending on the area where you have been focusing on, because if you just mention wrong question to wrong people, then you will not be getting the right answer. Open-ended questions allow respondents to answer in their own words. They don't have to mention in a high vocab or in a qualitative data way. Closed questions are multiple choice. Like we, for instance, somebody have to give exam. They have got multiple questions and they have to select one out of the four options. So these are the questions called closed questions where multiple options are being available and you just have to tick up. You don't have to answer, you just have to tick. Rank or ordinal. Here the questioner will be asked rank from 1 to 10 scale. What is your dissonance level? What is your satisfaction level after the post purchase? You have to just give the number, and depending on that, the qualitative data can be turned into quantitative data. Metrics and rating questions can be used to quantify qualitative data. Respondents are asked to rank behavior or attitude. So friends, it's quite easy, but have to be very vigilant. The further one is online focus group. This helps in engaging consumers and collecting qualitative data such as opinions, ideas, and feelings about the brand require a larger time investment and a willing group of participants. Here, the online focus group involve respondents from all over the world gathering online and reacting to a particular topic in real time. Here, Google Form also play a significant point because somebody can make a questionnaire on Google Form and then put it a link on the Twitter and ask people to come and visit over here and give your opinion and answer accordingly. So this could be very helpful as well. Having frank, detailed conversation with people to get their views about new product or services for your marketing campaign. This will help you to improve existing product campaign. For instance, if you have launched a campaign but still you have not getting a customer, and you have to understand the point, the gap which arise, why it happens. So therefore you have to go back and check out the campaign in order to improve it by gathering this information face to face with the customer. Sentiments about the brand and brand style. What customer feel about the product. The fee, like we discussed before, a term brand equity. Brand equity plays a big role because everybody or and consumer do feel something for the product of particular brand as well. If you wanted to buy a cloth, you might be looking for some specific brand because you have a good feel after wearing those clothes, and you are quite loyal to that product only rather than the other one against a competitor. And this will also help in how to improve brand positioning among the competitors for the consumer. The third point is conducted by using a range of technologies. Like we discussed before, the technological advancements has made a consumer reach very effective and efficient in less time without wasting much time, energy visiting somewhere else. They just have to browse on their phone, on laptop, and they can make a statement over there depending on the likes and dislikes information. So what happens, brand companies use text-based messages and they send the text message to phone numbers, to emails, or they have been using voice or video conferencing like Skype and Google Hangout, and can make it easier for the researcher to pick up clues from the respondent. But again, I'm telling you, you must first understand the sample target population to whom you have to target and the demographics, location. Only then you will be able to make your strategy of that particular brand or product in order to enhance its sale, or you have to penetrate it, and accordingly you can prepare your questionnaire and then reach these primary research and secondary research accordingly. The third point over here is online monitoring, collecting qualitative data on brand sentiment, and can also provide some quantitative data around volume of interest in the brand. These data can be collected passively, and there are several tools that can automate this. What happens, friends, if somebody is searching on Google, they search for Apple computers. This is where your website comes into effect. If you mention in your website headings, subheadings, that if somebody is looking for Apple computers, you have that term in your information, in your content as well, then definitely your website come up on Google index and ranking as well. Because once you have mentioned this term, it will be easy for you through Google Analytics to understand that these are the people, quantity, and from which location they have been mentioning this term they have been looking for. And for direct match, you have to mention your Apple computer in double inverted comma. Only then you will be able to make a ranking in Google search. Because in your Google Analytics, you have to make a campaign where you have to mention your product with inverted comma, and same thing should be available in your content in the website as well. Inclusive mass match. Here example is Apple plus computer. This is denoted by a plus sign. Same thing like in your campaign on Google Analytics or any kind of analytics you have been using. You must mention this phrase or word with plus sign, and same thing should be happen on your website as well, in either in the content, either in the subheading, heading, wherever you like, because this will increase your ranking as well in Google research. The fourth one is exclusive match. Here Apple hyphen fruit. This is noted by a minus sign directly before a word or phrase. This will instruct the tool to include only mention that contain the first word or phrase, but not when the second word is also in the same mention. So these are the few tactics you can use in Google Analytics and specifically in your website content as well. Again, what I just mentioned is the part of keywords, because these keywords, Apple computers inverted comma, Apple plus computer, Apple minus fruit, are the keywords people have been searching on Google, and depending on that, they have been getting information. If you have to search for Nike, you just mention Nike in search bar on Google, and you will get Nike straightway on top. But if there are so many companies, those who have also providing the same name, Nike Plus, Nike Gents, Nike Ladies, so they will also come up over there because they have mentioned their name in their content and on the Google Analytics campaign as well, because they have paid for that as well to Google to rank them up on top. And the fourth one over here is others. Like we discussed before, face-to-face expression is the real thing. You can get the real-time data straight away. Either it's face-to-face by visiting, or you can have a Skype video calling as well, WhatsApp calling as well, and the kind of software you have been using for your brand research. Online research communities. People also have a kind of research communities. If somebody is writing a blog or news and they have been mentioning those things as a PDF, as a video on their websites, then people would be easily download them and they can view whenever they like, or they can also view in a real time as well, and at the same time they can give their feedback. So this is very quality data in order to gather the information directly, because you know the target population, you have write the right blog over there, and that's why you are gathering the information as a feedback from the consumer and the customer experience. Conversion optimization. Here, the campaign you have launched through Google Analytics to gather the information, or offline channels, or any kind of other digital channels, your main ultimate goal is to define the conversion. How much conversion has been made since the strategy has been implemented as a campaign for a particular product or not. This will help you understand that how much your customer base has been increased, how many new customer has been joined to make a purchase, is it decreasing, and what are the reasons why it is decreasing as well. Because your for search advert to email subject lines will help you understand the shopping cart design as well. Just give you an example of PVR. They have been flashing a very catching eyeline as a subject matter on top in the subject line, because that's the main thing. Once you get an email, you can just view it from the outer side in inbox, that this is the email subject line, and is it engaging you or not. If it is engaging you, you will be directly indulging themselves. So friends, these are the points we cover in market research digital marketing. I hope you like the video. Please like and share Explore YouTube channel, so I'll be able to bring up further lessons for you as well in order to learn.